Alright, it's something we've been waiting for quite some time. It's the grand finals of the Dota 2 Canada Cup, and I know you may be a little disappointed after watching the Super Bowl last night and seeing a pretty lackluster game. And now I'm not going to spoil it, so if you don't know the result, you're not going to hear it here, but it was a bit of a snooze fest for me. But we promised that the games tonight, this best of 5, is going to be thrilling, and I just can't wait for us to get started with these games. But first, let's take a step back and let's talk a little bit more about the Dota 2 Canada Cup and kind of the journey we've been on until we got to this point. We started with the group stage where we said goodbye to Mischief or Team Freedom, whichever you want to refer to them as, FDL International, Pain, T-Show, Power Friendship, Void Boys, Slayers of Gods, and Boreal Esports. And then we moved into the playoffs, where we got rid of Archon in the first round, Leviathan as well, then Not Today and Shazam. Digital Chaos also went out, and of course, in our losers bracket finals, we said goodbye to Infamous.
5 seconds.
And that means we only have 2 teams remain. We've got Elite Wolves, which only lost 1 game in their group stage, and then only also lost 1 game their entire way through the winners bracket to get to the grand finals. That first loss in the group stage was to Digital Chaos. The loss in the playoffs was to Archon. So 2 very formidable opponents, but 2 teams that are they're gone. Now compLexity, they went completely flawless, perfect 3-0 through the group stage, and they dropped 1 game to Digital Chaos in the first round of the playoffs, but then from then on out, they went undefeated in the playoffs with 1 exception. The winners bracket finals, where they went up against the Elite Wolves. And that was a 2-0. That was a pretty one-sided affair, but we saw compLexity not really go into that series. I don't know if they were just on a little tilted from a previous tournament that they were playing in. They were playing in some Captain's Drafts games prior to those games, and they weren't playing like themselves.
10 seconds.
So although we haven't seen many games from them since, we have seen them kind of bounce back. And we're going to find out if tonight they have enough to knock off Elite Wolves and beat them in this best of 5. So really looking forward to that.
Turn to ban.
As we've got a pretty even matching, I'd say, between these 2 teams. You look at some of the betting sites, and we have a very, very slight advantage for compLexity, but pretty even in terms of betting. Take a look at some of the stats and the Dota 2 Canada Cup stats. You've got the highest team GPM on Elite Wolves. The highest team experience per minute is on compLexity. So pretty much splitting hairs on that one. Then you've got the individual players, where we've got the KDA is pretty much dominated by Smash and EWO, but right behind them is then Limp and Swindle. We take a look at GPM, and it's Chessie leading the way, but right behind them's EWO, Van, and then it's Swindle and Limp, and then a little ways down is Smash. And then you take a look at the experience per minute, and it's completely dominated by compLexity. Chessie, Swindle, and Limp all are ahead of Smash, Van, and EWO. And maybe that's going to be the difference, whether we're going to see kind of dominating in the early game and getting a good hold on gold and being efficient that way, or really focusing on getting XP, as we've seen compLexity do, and then they kind of morph into their more
10 seconds remaining
tower siege based kind of gameplay, where they're very efficient on the map, but they don't really go out and fight too much. And despite the fact that Elite Wolves are a South American team, we actually don't see them going out there and getting a huge number of kills. You take a look at the Dota 2 Canada Cup, and you take a look at all the teams competing in it, and it's neither compLexity or Elite Wolves that are at the top in terms of kills or even deaths. They're getting involved in kills, but they're not having a ridiculous number of either kills or deaths. They're just being efficient with the engagements that they do take part in. Some key heroes to watch, I have to say Beastmaster, Venge, and Lone Druid are probably the most contested heroes between these 2 teams. And we see one of those banned out this game, and another one picked up in the first, or both of them picked up in the first round. So not wrong there, but we have to jump into the draft we'll get talking about more between these two teams as we jump into game 2 and 3, and maybe 4 and 5 if we're lucky enough to go that far. But let's get into the draft at hand. I'm not sure if I introduced myself, but if I didn't, I'm Niz, and welcome to NizCast. So like I said, we've got 5 games, or the potential of 5 games, to find out who's the better team and who is going to take home the $40,000 prize pool for the Dota 2 Canada Cup. It's the grand finals, and let's jump into it. We've got Enchantress, Beastmaster, was that Beastmaster I mentioned, Juggernaut, and Batrider banned out by compLexity. Elite Wolves banned out the Wisp and the Earth Spirit, as well as the Spirit Breaker and the Broodmother. So both Elite Wolves' first 2 bans actually matching the bans that they were using against compLexity in that winner's bracket series. compLexity mixing it up a little bit, as they were kind of focused on banning Oracle every game. I believe one of the games they banned out the Batrider, and the other game was, trying to think, it was Venge. That they banned out there. So slight difference there for compLexity, banning out 2 different heroes, and I think their adjustments there are probably for the better. But let's get into the picks. As we've got Brewmaster and Lina getting picked up by compLexity. Lone Druid and Vengeful Spirit were the picks for Elite Wolves, 2 of their most played heroes. So no real surprise there. 2 heroes that they have a lot of success on. So compLexity better have a strategy ready for this, as they've picked up Treant Protector. That is a hero that we do not see picked pretty much at all.
10 seconds remaining.
And it's pretty much we always kind of joke about the only hero or only player in the game that plays that hero is PPD, but we're going to see someone on the side of compLexity play it this time around. They're also going to pick up an Enigma, which I believe we saw. It might have been the Shanghai Major qualifiers where we saw compLexity run an Enigma offlane, so look for that. As for the Elite Wolves, they picked up the Abaddon and the Ogre Magi. So we've got a little bit of disguised draft here from Elite Wolves, and I'll get into that in a second as we cover the last ban from compLexity, which is Death Prophet, as we wait for Elite Wolves in their final ban. But Elite Wolves, they show a lot of versatility in a couple heroes. One is the Vengeful Spirit, which they pretty much have both support players who play it, but they also play it as a carry. Now, when I see that Vengeful Spirit, I immediately think, well, it could be any of those 3, but that's not right, because they've picked up the Lone Druid, which is pretty much just Ewo who plays that. So we expect Ewo to be playing that, and that's going to be their carry. So I expect the Vengeful Spirit to then be a support, which gives us an idea about what that Abaddon is going to be doing. We have seen Smash played a little bit in the offlane, so I expect it to be there this game. So we've got the Vengeful Spirit and the Ogre Magi as our support duo. Abaddon offlane, Lone Druid as the carry. So they're just looking for that final hero for Van to play in the mid lane. Their final ban was Slardar, by the way, as now it's in compLexity's court to go with the 5th pick.
10 seconds remaining.
As we expect. Well, I think we have to expect that the Enigma is going to be offlane. Probably the Treant Protector and Lina support duo, but we're not 100% sure on that. Lina, compLexity have shown a lot of versatility in how they play the Lina, but the Brewmaster is the big, super flexible one, where we don't know. It's pretty much played by all 3 of their core players. Swinamones, Limp, and Chessie all play Brewmaster. Now, primarily it is played by either Swindle or Limp, so we could very well be seeing that played in the mid lane, with the Enigma being the offlaner, but we still don't know. The Lina, we've seen that played by Limp as well, and I believe we've seen it played by Swindle, so who knows what compLexity is doing. They've shown that they have some versatility in some of the heroes that they play. We see them move around the gyrocopter when they pick it. They're either played in the mid lane or the carry. And there's a lot of other heroes that they feel really flexible with. One of the ones that's kind of under the radar, I'd say, is Leshrac, where they can play that in pretty much any single role. And they're going to pick up Nature's Prophet here.
Radiant team pick.
So what does that tell us? We have seen them play Nature's Prophet more as a carry. So I think what we might be seeing is Enigma offlane, Brewmaster mid, Nature's Prophet safe lane, and the support duo is Lina and Treant Protector. As I believe what compLexity is going to be running with here. But if they change that up and mix who goes where and who's playing what, I would not be surprised. So I guess we'll have to wait until we actually jump into the game to find out where each of those heroes are going to be going and who's playing them. As for Elite Wolves, still waiting on their final pick,
Reserve
which
time.
we expect to be a mid-hero for Van. And it's going to be difficult because they don't really know what the lanes from complexity are going to be.
10 seconds.
I do think
remaining.
it's most likely
5
kind of
seconds
predictable to
remaining.
think the Brewmaster is going to be mid, but Slark certainly was not a hero that was on my radar. So they're going to pick up the Van Slark. And I don't think I've seen Van play Slark. So this could be very, very interesting. And I talked a little bit about complexity's versatility and picking up these different heroes like the Brewmaster, where they play it on a bunch of different heroes, or the Leshrac. But Elite Wolves have a different kind of versatility. Yeah, they can play the Vengeful Spirit in different roles. But for the most part, they'll say, okay, if we're going to pick Lone Druid, Evo's playing it. If we're going to pick X hero, blah, blah, blah is playing it. But there is some different kind of versatility that they run, and they will say, we're going to pick a Queen of Pain, and we're going to play it, we're going to have
10
Evo play it
seconds remaining.
instead of Van played in the mid lane, or we're going to pick Jug for
5
Van,
seconds
which
remaining.
is really unorthodox. That's your mid hero, but all of a sudden they're picking Jug, so they're willing to cycle around the heroes or their players into different roles if need be, because they're more specialized at playing that hero. So it's a different kind of versatility, but one that's interesting nonetheless.
Prepare for
But
battle.
we are in the game, so let's get excited here and let's get hype for our first game of this best of 5 between Elite Wolves and Complexity to determine who will win the Dota 2 Canada Cup. On our Radiant side is going to be the Elite Wolves. We got M-God playing the Ogre Magi as he ventures into the Complexity jungle to place an Observer Ward. Smash, as predicted, is going to be playing that Abaddon. Van is going to be on the Slark. Masoku is going to be playing the Vengeful Spirit. And Ebo is going to be on the Lone Druid. So far, so good on our predictions there. We'll see if they take to the lanes that we predicted as well. But we've got Complexity on the Dire side to introduce. We've got Swindle Melons playing the Brewmaster, so already wrong on that one. We've got Limp playing the Lina. Chessie is going to be on the Nature's
30
Prophet.
seconds to battle.
Z-Freak is going to be playing the Enigma. And Handskin is going to be on the Treant Protector. And I really wonder, as we get a pause here, I really wonder if maybe we could have been right in the draft up into the point where we made those predictions. And it's Complexity really just switching around who's playing what based on the final picks from Elite Wolves. And they may even have finished their draft by picking up that Nature's Prophet before they really 100% had determined who was going to play what. But it'll be interesting because, well, this is a rather unorthodox lineup that Complexity is
The
running here. I
battle
don't think
begins.
you'll see many other teams play this kind
Let us
of lineup. But we're going to see if it's going to work against Elite Wolves here tonight. As the horn sounds and we are ready to start this game, both teams picking up a bounty rune as Limp got it for Complexity and Ewo picked it up for the Elite Wolves. As the heroes start taking to their lanes, and already we have a smoke from Elite Wolves as they're going to try to wrap around on the mid lane as the Courier is just going to come and deliver an item to Limp, but it's not going to get killed by M-God and Masoku because they're going to go for Limp instead. As they're going to stun him up twice as the bear is attacking them. They've got the slow, and here comes Hanskin as he comes in. He actually body blocks Limp slightly, and that might have actually led to his death as we see first blood going to the boys on Elite Wolves as Ewo getting the last hit there and getting that extra little bit of gold as Limp respawns, TP's back to the mid lane. He'll actually enjoy a little bit of free farm as all these heroes have to rotate around through the bottom rune to get back to mid as they ended up diving and going past that tier 1 tower, and that was the safe route around. So despite the fact that Limp went down there for first blood, he is actually a leader in terms of last hit from that space that he got there. He's sitting at 5 and 2, whereas Ewo is only at 3 and 0. But that's going to be our mid lane. The Lina going up against the Lone Druid is. It looks like our Ogre is going to be moving around and maybe even hanging around mid a little bit more. Is M-God going to try and get a stun here, but I don't think he's going to be able to reach. As for our top lane, it's going to be the Abaddon going up against the Nature's Prophet. Bottom lane is going to be the Brewmaster and the Treant Protector going up against the Slark, as Van's going to get hit with the clap from Swindle Melons. And he does have Pounce available, hasn't used it yet. He's going to wait until he gets very, very low, but he will pounce away. He had the Leech Seed on him. As soon as that wears off, he healing salves himself back up, as Masoku was also down there trying to help out. But it's the Venge and the Slark going up against this Brewmaster and Treant Protectors. 2-minute rune spawns. Masoku picks up the Invis rune, as now he's going to try to come back down to the bottom lane. And the only hero that we didn't cover is Z-Freak, who's actually nearby in the bottom lane, farming up one of those neutral camps. A little bit more harass going in on Van here. This looks like mid has stabilized a little bit here, as Ewo has started to take over the lane a little bit more, and that's pretty much what you expect to happen, as we expect kind of Limp to, or the Lina to not really be able to keep pace with the Lone Druid, but really Limp's focus is just going to be on getting XP in that mid lane and being able to hit that level 6 and be able to get that Laguna online and then be able to gank and get some pickoffs. And that should really actually match or mesh well with compLexity style. Go kill a hero and then bring down a tower on the back of your rotation there. But Magic Missile is going to stun up Swindle Melons, followed up by the Ogre Stun, as Swindle's just going to go down here, and it's the second kill on the board for Elite Wolves, as compLexity have yet to score a kill. Meanwhile, on the top lane, we've got Smash diving past the tower, but just farming up the creep wave, not actually going on Chessie there. As this lane's been a little bit of a trade between the two heroes, as we've got Smash and Chessie just pretty much farming away. Smash sitting at 21-0 and Chessie at 18-6 in terms of CS, but not really seeing too much aggression between the two heroes, and that might come online a little bit later, as maybe Smash will try to go a little bit more aggressive in that top lane. Checking back in on the mid lane, and it's actually been evened up a little bit as Limp is caught up slightly. 19-3 for Evo versus 18-3 for Limp, as Limp's going to pick up a haste rune. And Van was at the bottom rune to pick up the bounty. As actually, we look at the bottom lane, we've got Van at 15-0 and Swindle at 16-3. So even there, the farm very, very even. It's pretty much even all the way across the board. So both these teams not really given much. It's just those 2 kills that have really separated them so far. XP might be a little bit more in compLexity's favor, and maybe gold slightly, because they've got this jungling Enigma. But we'll have to see how that'll work out for compLexity moving forward. It's going to be somewhat difficult for that Enigma to get some good black holes, even if Z-Freak goes and picks up a BKB, because Masoku on the Vengeful Spirit will always have that swap available, and BKB is not going to protect you from the Vengeful Spirit swap. So one of the key points in this game will be whether what time Masoku hits level 11 and maybe even level 16, as that will give him that increased range on the Nether swap and allow him to better position himself to counter Z-Freak's black holes. Z-Freak has smoked up. He's moving down towards the bottom. He's actually not 6 yet. He's just about to hit level 6, as we actually miss a kill in the mid lane, as looks like M-God was hanging out in the trees here waiting for Limp, and Limp on his rotation down towards the bottom lane. It was scouted out by this Observer Ward. He just went and killed him using that haste rune that he had bottled up from earlier. And we start seeing some of the items starting to come out here, as it's going to be a Hand of Midas picked up by Ewo, and we've got Phase Boots picked up by Chessie. As he's actually going to TP down to the bottom lane, as it looks like a lane rotation coming out from compLexity as they move their Brewmaster up into the top lane and bring that Nature's Prophet down towards the bottom. But we got action in the mid, as M-God's going to try to go on mid once again, as he's going to stun up Limp, but there immediately comes in the TP from Handskin, as Limp is actually going to get caught in an entangle there. But Chessie misses the Sprout slightly on Ewo. But actually, sorry, that wasn't a miss. Excuse me there. I didn't realize that Ewo actually had the Quelling Blade up on his own hero. So that was the proper Sprout, and I'll get talking about that in a second, as there's kills going on in the bottom as well. But we've got M-God in trouble still in the mid lane, as he's going to slow down Limp, but it's not going to be enough to allow him to escape as compLexity gets a bunch of kills. The kills that we missed in the bottom lane, in fact, it's still going on as Z-Freak and Van are going at it. Looks like Van's going to be able to score a kill there, but it looks like Z-Freak got a kill on Masoku a little bit earlier. As more action in the top lane is now Smash is going on to Swindlemelons. Action all over the place. Smash going to get the kill here, as that actually evens us up at 4 kills apiece. But let's go back to that mid engagement and talk about that Sprout that was placed on the high ground there. I said it was missed, but I was actually a little bit wrong on that. I was thinking that the Lone Druid was going to be out of Tangos, but he had actually passed the Quelling Blade to his hero, and that's just a great play by Ewa, an easy play to just kind of be missed there. But basically by passing that Quelling Blade to his hero, even if the hero gets kind of trapped in those trees, if he gets trapped in a Sprout, he can easily Quelling Blade, knock down a tree, and just keep on going. But by placing the Sprout in front of him, he'd have to eat 2 trees to escape, so he has to walk around the Sprout. So it wasn't a missed Sprout from Chessie, it was a good play, and recognizing the fact that there was either going to be a Tango or a Quelling Blade available to that Lone Druid. As Chessie actually gets picked off in the top lane. As Ewo continues to put some pressure on this mid-tier 1 tower, but little bits of pressure like that aren't actually going to do too much for Elite Wolves in terms of getting progress on bringing down towers, because compLexity have hand skin on this Treant Protector, and they've got living armor available to them, which of course will help the towers regenerate their HP. As Ewo's going to come up here, pick up the top rune, but he's met by a whole party of compLexity heroes, as we're going to have the Brewmaster split, and the Laguna is going to come out, zapping down that Lone Druid. As the stun coming out from Limp is just going to slightly be a little bit short, as Limp's actually going to get brought down there by the Slark, but eventually they do bring down that Ogre Magi that they were going for. Now Chessie, maybe a little overcommitted, tries to run away, and he will be able to do so, as Van actually just going to turn around and go after Handskin, which is a kill he will find. There's now 7-6 Elite Wolves, just slightly edging out ahead, and Van, he kind of wants more, but he's not going to find anything just yet. He'll just go and cut this creep wave and allow his team to post up better on this mid-tier 1. It's actually just Smash left here in the mid lane, as everyone else has kind of gone back. Masoku's actually going to walk all the way back to Fountain, as he has full HP, but a little light on terms of mana. And Smash will bring that tower down to about 400 HP. But that's the second tower that's taken a little bit of a beating, so if compLexity want to devote some of their living armors towards getting the HP on those towers back up, that means it's not going to be available for some of their heroes if any further engagements happen. But we might see our first tier 1 tower going down here, as compLexity are pushing in the bottom lane. This Nature's Prophet and Enigma have crazy good pushing potential, and we will see that tier 1 tower go down. As it looks like maybe Elite Wolves are going to go up into the top and go for a push in the tier 1 tower, but they want the kill on the Brewmaster first, as they're going to latch down this Swindlemelons in place, and will Swindle be able to get on out of here? He's got living armor up on him. It's going to help out, and he just barely gets healed up there, but now Van will be able to bring him down. Chessie TP's on in, Sprout, and he will just barely get the kill there before the teleport finished. The top tier 1 tower did go down, as we have action in the bottom lane as well, as we've lost Masoku and Limp at some point there. So there was an engage going on elsewhere on the map. We've got Ewo trying to push in this mid lane, but he's on pretty low HP. He's at 300 HP. So he needs to be careful of a potential wraparound here, and Hanskin's going to be able to land that ultimate on the Treant Protector, but he's not going to be able to follow it up. And Masoku going to TP on in, swap that tree back, stun him up under the tower, and he will get the living armor off. Will it be enough to keep him alive? The answer is no, as Masoku is now getting smacked by that, whatever I think it's a flail that Swindlemelons is hitting him with. Whatever the attack Brewmaster uses, is he's going to split and toss Smash up in the air on that Abaddon. Are they going to turn around and just go for Smash? I think that will be their target. But here comes Van. He's going to come back in, as the Brewmaster split is about to expire. And they need to be careful, because Swindle's HP was only around half, and there he comes back, as he's going to get chased down by Smash. But I think he should be fine, and especially with a double damage rune there going for him. As we hop back up towards to mid to see what's going on here, as the tier 1 tower has gone down. But it looks like there's no further aggression there, and none at the bottom rune either, because it's going on in the top lane as Ewo's chasing down Chessie. And there's that Sprout trying to TP out, but the Quelling Blade is there once again from Ewo, as Chessie gets entangled and his TP gets cancelled. But now with Z-Free coming in here, they might be able to turn it around. They're going to lock down that bear, and they will get some gold from killing that spirit bear, but Evo does have another resummon. So that'll come right back up and continue harassing these two heroes. The Z-Freak going to get entangled. He'll try to TP out, and he will be able to do so successfully. Now Chessie will once again get another Sprout. Masoku actually swapping Ewo out, and Ewo just ran back in, and Chessie was able to kill him, and then Masoku died. I don't know what that play was, but it was definitely a mistake from Elite Wolves. They were not on the same page there, and Chessie walks away with the double kill on very, very low HP, but he will gladly take that, as that moves compLexity within 1 kill of Elite Wolves. We're 12 minutes into this game. Let's take a quick look at our net worth, as our leader is actually Van on the Slark at 6,500. Count that, 6,800 net worth. Second is going to be Chessie on the Nature's Prophet at 59. Then we've got Z-Freak, who's already completed his mech. He's hitting at 5,600. So the support Enigma way up there in terms of net worth because of all these rotations and all these ganks, or attempted ganks, that we've seen so far. We've seen a lot of heroes involved, and that's really hurt some of the cores in terms of their early game net worth. But fourth is going to be Smash on this Abaddon, as he's at 5,600. Then it's Ewo, who his Hand of Midas still hasn't really paid off for himself, as he's going to try to farm here in the mid lane, and he actually doesn't have a Spirit Bear right now, and he's not going to have one for another 30 seconds. But he's doing an okay, I guess, at 5,100 net worth, but he'll look to rebound, and his counterpart in the mid lane, Limp, is also struggling, as he's at 4,400 net worth, but they might be able to help him out here. Z-Freak and Chessie are going to smoke up with him and start moving down and towards the Radiant Jungle, but Van and Masoku are looking for an opening up here in the top, as they want to go on Handskin, as Handskin's going to Living Armor himself, but that's not going to be enough to keep him alive. He needs to maybe Nature's Guise, but he doesn't have it skilled up. So that'll be a death for him, and compLexity, I think they're okay with that. That was a rotation from two pretty key early game heroes from Elite Wolves moving up towards the top lane, and that has created further space and a greater opportunity for compLexity to go for this Roshan, and it looks like they will be able to get it without any contest from Elite Wolves. And the Aegis will go to Limp. Now we've got Swindle and Chessie TPing down to the bottom. We also have that Treant Protector that just respawned TPing down here. M-God's going to get stunned up as he was trying to TP away, as now their next target's going to be Smash, and Limp will land the stun, but Smash, Borrowed Time, will pop that to break out of that stun, and he'll pick up an Illusion Moon as he runs away, and I don't think compLexity are going to be able to catch him. So Smash will be able to get out of there safely. But, oh, maybe not. Chessie's going to TP on into the mid lane, but once again, the Quelling Blade will get used this time in the form of an Iron Talon. But Chessie, Limp, and Handskin are all still in hot pursuit, and Chessie once again, this time, placing the Sprout ahead, so the Quelling Blade is not available to them, as Limp will finish him off. Actually, it's Chessie who gets the last hit there. Laguna not even getting the last hit. But Van went for a kill up in the top lane, and now he's in trouble. Sprout will actually give them vision, but not actually trap Van. But either way, Chessie will be able to find that kill. As Van goes down, it's going to be a double kill for Chessie. And maybe the first lead that compLexity's had all games in terms of hero kills, 13-12 now. As that'll also give us time to quickly take a look at our net worth graph and see that it's actually compLexity leading the way so far. They had an early lead just around 1,500 gold or so, but that was even pretty much right back up by Elite Wolves, as then they took a very slight lead. But now we've since seen the last couple engages have led to compLexity pulling ahead just a slight bit, 3,000 gold, not the most, but it is an early lead. So as for XP, it's pretty much the same. It's been more compLexity dominated, and I mentioned it in the draft. compLexity are the team that averages the highest team XP per minute in the entire tournament, so it's no surprise here that they have an XP advantage. But so far, this is made for a pretty damn good and pretty damn close game so far. We're 15, 16 minutes in, and not much between these two teams. Of course, the Roshan, that Aegis on Limp is going to be pretty important, but this smoke may actually net Elite Wolves a pretty important kill if they're able to catch up to Swindle, but they're not. He's able to blink away. As Van is in Viz and he's chasing, he's going to find Handskin, he's going to engage on him. And he'll try to TP away, and he will be successful. Swindle's sitting here in Viz because of the Nature's Guise. And he'll he'll blink away. As
Radiant's top
I'm not really
tower
sure
is
how
under
they had
attack.
vision of him. Maybe that just barely wore
Radiant
off.
structures are fortified.
It may have been from Van
Dire's
having
middle tower is under attack.
knowing where that Brewmaster was. Looks like there's just going to be a little bit of pressure applied in the mid lane from Elite Wolves,
Radiant's
but
top
they've got to
tower
come
is
back
under
because
attack.
Chessie's going for the split push, and then he'll just TP away. So they have to devote some heroes to come back to defend their tier 2, and Chessie just continues that split push rat-style Dota, as Limp will
Radiant's
find a
bottom
kill here with
tower is
Swindamount
under
as they
attack.
drop Smash as he takes his first fall of the game.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I guess the story so far for Elite Wolves has been Vin. He's looking pretty damn good so far. We just need him to add a few more items on. Looks like he's going to be completing the S and Y as he has picked up a sand recipe, but still needs the other components for it. As he's already got the Yasha completed, he also went with drums and treads, so he just needs the Ogre Club, but he's about
Radiant's
800 gold
bottom
away from
tower
completing
is
that.
under
Let's
attack.
check in on Ewo as he's at 3,700 gold, so almost Relic online for him. That Midas has definitely been allowing him to catch back up. So he's just
Radiant's
about the
bottom
recipe
tower
away
has
from a
fallen.
Radiant. It's just more than a recipe. Yes. He'll look to get some of that gold in the mid lane, but he needs to be careful because Handskin and Limp are just barely below that mid lane. But now with Masoku here, he should be fine. Here comes Chessie and Z-Freak, and Handskin's actually going to lead with the overgrowth, but no, they're not going to engage on it. They're going to back away. That's the second overgrowth from Handskin that we've seen that hasn't really amounted to much of anything. His complexity's timing just a little bit off there. I think both these teams are still getting into the swing of things here for this best of 5. It's going to be a long series between these two teams. So I'm guessing they didn't really play too much leading into this. They probably had one warm-up game. But I could be wrong on that. Take a quick cycle. Actually, we'll bring it up on the screen here so we can take a look at everyone at once. So we've got Vlad's up on Smash. Beyond that, we know the S and Y is going to be coming up on Van shortly. Masoku, just with your typical support items. Ewo, has he picked up the relic we expect that he has? Yes, and he's at another 500 gold. So he's getting close. But looks like we are going to have an engage here, or maybe not. Complexity trying to look for an opening. They're not going to find it, but Masoku will get a swap off on Swindlemelons, who will be able to blink back towards the safety of his team. It's actually Masoku, the first hero to go down. Smash gets his bullet time procced very early on in this team fight, and now he's going to get locked down in place, and he's not going to be able to escape, so it's 2 kills going the way of Complexity as they look to bring down this tier 2 tower, but they have tossed M-God up in the air as he'll land on that Ogre Magi, but there's not really going to be much follow-up as they're playing it safe. They're going for the tier 2 tower. As we'll quickly try and go over the items of Complexity. We've got the Aghanim Scepter as well as the drums up on Chessie. He's got another 2,000 gold as well. As for Z-Freak, we saw him pick up that mech early. He's also added on a Rod of Atos. We got Limp with the Yule Scepter and 1,700 gold. Handskin just with the Arcanes, but he's sitting at 1,400, so maybe a Blink Dagger is going to be coming out soon for him, but he could very well be going for something else. Swindlemelons, Blink Dagger, 2,400 gold, and he just spends a bunch of it as he pretty much buys everything needed for Vlad. He already had the Ring of Basilius on him, so didn't need to buy that. But that will be completed for him as Van's going to find Swindlemelons. Try to open up on him. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to bring down this tanky Brewmaster, as he'll just back and continue farming. But this is kind of the Complexity Dota that we're used to seeing, as they've got a huge advantage in terms of towers. They got the bottom tier 1 and tier 2. They've got the mid tier 1 and tier 2, and they've got the top tier 1 and tier 2. They haven't been able to break the base just yet. That's a lot of tower gold on their side. You take a look at what Elite Wolves have been able to do in terms of towers. They got the top tier 1 and the mid tier 1. Besides that, every other tower is still left standing. So that's a lot of additional gold that Complexity has over the Elite Wolves. But that's gold that if Elite Wolves can get a little bit more map control and maybe a pick off here or there, they will be able to get that gold and bring down those towers. And we'll definitely bring them back in this game. Just take a quick look at our gold graph, and it's now a slight slightly larger lead, 10,000 gold now for complexity. Over 21 minutes, that's actually a pretty decent sized lead given the time, the game length so far. XP still in favor of complexity, but around the 7,500 XP mark. So Elite Wolves are a little bit behind here, but they look to rebound, and they will probably be able to do so because they've got this Spirit Bear with the Radiance, and that is definitely going to help them a lot, and it's going to help them with controlling the map, which they're really going to need because the Nature's Prof is able to do so much with teleporting around and using his ultimate. And Handskin and Limp with Chessie and Z-Freak may find a kill here. I don't see any way that Smash is going to be able to get on out of this. He will pop Borrowed Time, but he's still not going to be able to TP out because he gets Yules. And complexity find a kill there is... That's Elite Wolves. They're just going to have to try and take some risks and farm aggressively on the map. And when you do that, unfortunately, it comes with some consequences sometimes if the opposing team is able to catch you out. So we see the result of that. But they try to go for another kill on Masoku in the mid lane, but he's able to TP away. And that's created a little bit of space in the top lane for Van and Evo. But now the response comes out from complexity, and Van will at least TP out. Evo will just back away in the lane. But this is going to be pretty important. Roche has just spawned, and Handskin's going to scout it out immediately. So this could be another almost free Aegis for complexity. We'll see if Elite Wolves are going to be able to predict this, and or whether or not they'll choose to go and fight. They do have an Observer Ward nearby. Should point out that Limp has picked up a Shadow Blade. And Boots of Travels have been added on for Z-Freak. What was that? It's an Ogre Club just came in and got delivered to Z-Freak, so probably building towards a BKB. As we've got the Point Booster picked up by Handskin, so he's going for the Aghanim Scepter, not going for that blink initiation on the Treant Protector, which could very well have been an option for him. We have seen him get a couple overgrowths, but they've been kind of lackluster at best. And I kind of like the idea of the Treant Protector blinking in and engaging the fight, because you've got really strong counter engage with the Enigma, but there's just so strong Black Hole interrupt with the Venge, it makes it kind of difficult. It looks like complexity will be able to get another Roche here, as I believe Elite Wolves did see the rotation going in, despite the fact that complexity smoked up slightly after passing by that Observer Ward. I think it was still pretty obvious that they were going to be going for Roche. So complexity will drop Roche, and they will get another Aegis for Limp as he'll TP up to the top lane where, oh my goodness. Oh, the LSA was so close to landing. So close, but no, Van able to TP away. As unfortunately we're going to have... what? We're going to have a slight pause there from complexity as Sweetamelon says Amber Alert, which I believe is a child is missing. Everyone's phones exploded. I don't know what's going on. They're ready now though, so we should get resumed here in just a second. There we go, the G gets called and we're set to go. Quickly hop around some of these Elite Wolves heroes and see if there's anything else that's going to be coming out for them soon that's really going to help them in the next fight. We have the Sange picked up by Smash. I'm not sure. I'm assuming that's going to go into an SNY, but I'm not sure if that's really going to help them too much in a team fight. This Maelstrom pickup by Van is interesting as well. It'll give them a lot of attack speed in the fight. And also give them a little bit more wave clear to deal with these Trent minions.
Tower is under attack.
Which, honestly, they're lacking a little bit of. They're lacking a little bit of wave clear, despite the fact that they've got a lone druid with the Radiant Bear. Beyond that, they don't really have much. Their offlaner can't really do much in terms of wave clear. Yeah, Aphotic Shield can explode and deal some good damage for you, but it's still not super fast. It's not fast like a Luna or anything like that. and then your 2 supports can't really do much either. So it's an interesting pickup, but I actually like it that this Maelstrom was picked up by Van. Well, Limp is going to Shadow Blade and move in. He's going to pass right by a Sentry Ward, and he'll get attacked immediately. So they know he's coming, but he will be able to still engage, but he's actually going to get stunned up first, as he's going to continue to get stunned up, but apparently they didn't need anything from Limp, as they were able to drop M-God without it. Is Masoku going to try to TP away? The stun won't actually land, because he's going to get tossed up in the air from the Yule Scepter. But that's a gem on the deck after they killed M-God, so more advantage going the way of compLexity, as now they're going to try to break the base. Got Van cutting the creep wave up in the top lane, but compLexity pushing in the mid. As it looks like this tier 3 is about to go down, Van has come back to defend. Will actually pounce back away from compLexity, as it doesn't really look like Elite Wolves want to fight this, and they don't have to. compLexity have come, they've got the tier 3 tower, but the racks are not being threatened, and with Elite Wolves still waiting for Masoku to respawn, which he just respawned now, they don't have any reason to fight or force a fight 4v5. The question is what are Elite Wolves going to be able to do to come back in this game? What is their big moment? It's obviously got to come on the back of, I think, a big team fight win. I don't think they have the potential to really out-split push compLexity, because compLexity just has the ability to be all over the map so quickly with the Nature's Prophet. And they've got so much push with the Enigma as well that I don't really see any way that compLexity are going to get out-pushed by any kind of split strategy. So I think Elite Wolves just have to find a pick off and just be able to run with it. But they're probably going to have to wait until this Aegis goes down on Limp. That's a big item for compLexity, as if Limp has a second life, that's a lot of damage coming out from the Lina.
Radiant's
still holding on to that
tower
gem.
is under attack.
Van was backing, but now he's starting to head back down the lane, and he's got some help coming with Masoku and M-God. They were smoked up, but Swindles and Hanskin going to engage here. Limp going to come in from behind. The Laguna Blade's going to be cast onto M-God, and Masoku also gets caught as he was trying to once again run into the trees and TP away, but Chessie TP'd on in. As it looks like that'll be the end of that aggression, or maybe... No, yeah. compLexity going to back away, play it safe. They got 2 pickoffs. They are only on support heroes. But once again, it's created another opening for them to kill this creep wave and get up on the high ground and get into the Elite Wolves base and start dealing some damage to these racks. And the ping has come out to go for the melee racks. They think they have enough time, as Van's going to try to walk in. It's our first black hole of the game, getting cast by Z-Freak. As he pops his BKB, there was no kills on the back of it. As now, here comes Elite Wolves. They're going to go on the offensive. They have all their supports having respawned, and now compLexity, they're on the run, as Z-Freak going to try to stun up Smash, but I don't think it's going to be enough, as Van tries to come in, but now he's got to go defensive and try to run away, and I don't know if he's going to be able to do so. Pounce up in 1 second. He'll get into the trees and just wait there, not going to use his pounce just yet. But Swindle getting stunned up. Laguna's going to get cast on Evo as he's getting focused, and he's going to go down. No Lone Druid for Elite Wolves, as Masoku's going to go down as well. They will get the kill onto Limp, and looks like there's going to be one onto Z-Freak and Hanskin. So Elite Wolves are actually going to come out ahead there, 3 kills to 2. As they not only hold their base and keep the racks alive, but they actually get 1 more kill, and that's a big gold swing for them. Almost 3,400 gold going the way of Elite Wolves. So I talked about the fact that they have to, win one of these big team fights, and they do. They win a big team fight, and a crucial one, because if they didn't win that, they would have lost their racks. But yeah, that might have been enough to bring Elite Wolves back into this game. Now, the next fight's going to be very crucial as well. If they're able to win that fight, then I'd say they're definitely back in the game. But now with that last fight, they've got compLexity thinking, this game is not in the bag for you guys yet. You've got to be careful, because one more mistake like that and Elite Wolves could be right back in it. There's a whole bunch of little Nature's Prophet treants running around, but it'll be a bunch of extra gold for Elite Wolves. Let's just take a look at our gold graph, and it's kind of stalled out around that 10k mark. So Elite Wolves kind of stopped the bleeding. It was kind of an opened wound again, but then with that last team fight win, it looks to have come back in favor of Elite Wolves, but still a pretty large lead, I'd say, for complexity. Elite Wolves will look to have another great fight as Chessie will once again use that Sprout to block Smash's retreat, but that Abaddon is just too damn fast. 411 move speed, plus he's got the phase boots to activate as well. Race card build on Abaddon is too strong. So what do we got? We got Van with the Scotty. Beyond that, where's Ewo's bear? There it is. He's got the AC completed, as well as of course, the Radiance and the Midas that he had earlier. It looks like Smash has picked up a Broadsword and a Claymore, so they want more wave clear. It's going to be a Battle Fury for the Abaddon, and like a 35-minute, maybe 36-minute Battle Fury. Interesting pickup, but we'll see how it works out for them. Yeah, as I'll take a look at complexity and see what they're trying to add on, as Limp has picked up a BKB. As we've got Hanskin getting closer towards that Aghanim Scepter, about 1,400 gold from completing that. As Smash actually had more gold than I thought. He actually finishes the Battle Fury now. As yeah, so he's got that Battle Fury up on the Abaddon.
Radiant's middle barracks
Interesting.
are under attack.
That Swindle still carrying the gem. He's also added on a Hyperstone from his previous items that we've seen. That's actually going to turn into an AC as the courier comes in and delivers some items. Looks like we got action in the mid lane. They found Van. They're going to open up on him, and Z-Freak uses those boots of travels to TP on in. Gets the Black Hole off, but it's still not enough to bring down Van. He was able to get the Shadow Dance, and they didn't have any other way to bring down bring in any more damage as they got the AoE on him. But beyond that, everything else was single target, as now Van has re-engaged, and this time they will be able to bring him down, as Ewo's in trouble as well. But oh my goodness, Chessie gets a double kill there. We will have Van buy back into the game, but Ewo is going to go down. As Complexity have just lost one, and here comes Van again. He's going to pounce onto Chessie, lock him down in place. Chessie drops down to about 100 HP, or half of his HP, as Smash is in there. He's cleaving everyone with that Battle Fury, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. Borrowed time on cooldown for another 15 seconds. He'll shield himself up, but Complexity are actually going to back away. They're not going to keep going for this kill, as they know that Van is close by and probably ready to
Radiant's
re-engage.
middle barracks are under attack.
But another interesting fight is all those Trent minions are just going to charge into the Elite Wolves base, and they just right-click down the range racks, and now they're going for the melee racks. I don't know if this is going to be enough. It's going to be close. It looks like Van and Masoko are going to be able to do enough to stop the push from these Trent minions, as another Nature's Wrath comes bouncing on in, gives them a little bit more, but they only get the melee racks down to 350 HP, so it's a successful hold, I guess, for Elite Wolves. As we have another very, very close fight. That one was a little bit more complexity favored. And they also managed to force out a buyback from Van. And it didn't really allow them to do too much. Van came in and re-engaged, but it didn't give them another kill on complexity. And I don't think it really saved anyone else on his team. But it was probably a buyback that was going to be necessary, because I imagine complexity would have kept pushing without that Slug buyback. Well, it looks like Complexity are eager to go for another Roche here. Of course, this will be our third Roche of the game, as it's going to be a Cheese, as well as an Aegis. As Hanskin was kind of being the mobile ward, standing in the Roche pit there. He won't actually see if Roche respawns, and we have the cheating way of seeing the respawn timer there, and we can tell that Roche has actually respawned, but neither team has seen it just yet. Now it's Elite Wolves going on the offensive, as they're going to try to bring down this tier 2 tower. Stun will land onto Van, as he's going to keep pouncing forward, as they're going to go onto Chessie, as the bear's on him as well. And this is a Nature's Prophet in trouble, as Limp has already gone down. Big black hole coming out from Z-Freak. But will it be enough? It looks like it might have. Oh, Chessie's actually going to get a kill with his Nature's Wrath, and Never mind. That means Elite Wolves are going to have to back away.
Radiant's bottom
As the
tower
Brewmaster
is
Sprint
under
trying to
attack.
come back in, and now Smash has kind of overcommitted himself. He's going to get tossed in the air on the back of his borrowed time. It's one of the really strong counters to an Abaddon, especially a core Abaddon, is just a Yule Scepter. As Z-Freak's going to go down there, and this has actually allowed Elite Wolves to get an extra kill there. As Smash still somehow alive, and he's going to try to TP away, but he will be sheeped up by Chessie. As Swindle re-engages in and gives him the clap to finish him off. As Van tries to pounce away, but there's Nature's Prophet minions there, and he gets stunned up by the Centaurs. He's going to be able to pounce down to the low ground as Swindle is in pursuit. But Sprout is going to be off the mark this time, but the sheep cannot, as that's going to land on Van as he'll pounce once again, this time going down to the low ground. Again, Swindle will blink after him. As Shadow Dance is available, and he'll use it. That'll help him heal back up slightly as Limp is there, and Viz and Hanskin's there as well. They will catch him with the Yule Scepter, but he'll be able to purge that off. And he again pounces down to the low ground as Chessie TP's on in to counter him and block him off once again. He will find him with the Sprout, but he'll be able to pounce away. As Van, this has been a miraculous escape for him, and it looks like he will be able to get away. This slippery damn Slark, my goodness. Van, I don't know how you did it, but he got out of there. God, it looked like it was going to be a sure death when he got stuck in the creep camp there and stunned up by the Centaur. But he found a way to escape there, and wow, what a player. So now we'll start coming up towards the top lane, where they're going to try to go on Ewo. Z-Freak's actually going to pop his BKB, and Chessie's going to TP in as well, and a very crucial kill for compLexity. As with that, they'll try to look to probably go down in the mid lane and try and break down this mid melee Rax. But looks like they're actually going to keep Chessie and Z-Freak up in the top lane, so they might just be going for the top lane. But ooh, Elite Wolves, this is kind of a risky play. They're going to go into Roche Pit. They know that this is a very crucial target on the map right now, but Masoki's going to TP away. And will compLexity come back and go for Roche, or will they continue with that push? They don't have a lone druid for 35 seconds. And we've got a TP to the bottom tier 1 tower from Z-Freak, as it looks like compLexity are going to come back and go for Roche here. And I really don't see Elite Wolves being able to come in and take this fight. Not without their lone druid, not without the Radiance. He's just too crucial, he's too much damage for them right now. Van's going to try to do some harassing, little poke damage, but not really going to be able to do much. So it's going to be the third Roche going to compLexity. They've got all 3 Roches so far this game, and Limp has gotten all 3 Aegises. As the cheese is going to get picked up by Z-Freak. As we'll take a quick look at what his BKB's at. It's at 6 seconds. Checking on Limp's as well, as his is at 8 seconds. I know we haven't really kind of kept up with Chessie's items on this Nature's Prophet. It's hard to keep up with him in general, as he's jumping all around the map. But he's got the Aghanims. There we go. I'm trying to say it. Tripping up over Aegis. But Aghanim Scepter. He's got the sheep, and he's also got an Octarine and a Refresher to go with his blink and his phase. It's a lot of items there on Chessie's. He's way out in front in terms of our net worth at 2,900 net worth. Closest challenger is Van on that Slark at 21. And Van's actually holding on to a gem now. He's also added on a Shadow Blade, which will help him be further slippery in the team fights. As look at this, Z-Freak's going to pick up a gem of his own. As Van's actually going to find Handskin, and the tree's going to try to invis himself, but that's not going to escape because of that gem, and Chessie comes in, gets the sheep off on Van, and now Chessie's in trouble. Smash going to come in as well, and this is 2 kills for Elite Wolves. Great pick off there, as Van leads the way and gets a very crucial pick off on 2 heroes there. But once again, these Nature's Prophet Trants keep the pressure on the Elite Wolves base, as they have to come back and defend their tier 3. And we had, on the back of those 2 kills, Smash pick up a Skull Basher. So he's going to have that, and he's sitting at 3,100 gold, so he just needs a relic to complete an Abyssal Blade, which will give them more disables and more ability to control the team fight. Swindle's actually up to 3,800 gold as well. So he almost got cut off there by Smash, but he'll blink over top of him, and Van and Smash are both going to maybe look to dive this tier 1 tower, or maybe they're just going to stop and backdoor. Of course, tier 1 towers actually don't have backdoor protection, so you don't have to wait for your creep wave. A Smash going to get focused down here. He's going to pop his borrowed time and have to run away, as Van's pretty committed into this fight, as we had the split come out, the Brewmaster split come out from Swindles, and as soon as Van comes down from that that tornado he was tossed up into, he lands right into a black hole, but Z-Freak's going to be the first to go down as Ewo comes in and cleans up. But Masoku goes down as well. Now Ewo is the one on the run, as Van and Smash will look to re-engage. They're going to go on to Swindles, and they're going to find the kill. Swindles going to buy back immediately, and he'll look to come down here and help out his team, as we're going to have Limp respawning on the back of that Aegis, but immediately he'll have to Yules himself up in the air, and he's just going to get focused down. His complexity are just completely falling apart. I don't know how, but Elite Wolves have brought themselves back in this game. They've got some little wins here or there, and they're going to keep going. As Swindlemeld, he already bought back. He's going to go down again. As Hanskin going to try to run away, but keep in mind, they do have this gem, so they will be able to see him. I think there's another gem picked up, or maybe, no. Okay, Hanskin has it for complexity. As he will go down, and it will drop on the ground, as Elite Wolves won't be able to go in there and pick it up. As the Courier tries to come in and pick it up for complexity, but instead it just goes down, and MGod picks up the gem, as he'll Force Staff himself back towards his base. As Elite Wolves, how are they back in this game? I don't know, but it seems to be working out for them. Ewo and Van are just the big heroes that they need them to be, and they just keep kind of going with this chip style play. They come and engage in the team fight, and then immediately back away and let someone else go in and engage. And you know, maybe we're not giving Smash enough credit as well, as he's getting in there. He's forcing them to kind of focus him and proc the borrowed time. But then he just backs away, and when he's actually left alone, when he's on a target, he's doing a lot of damage. He's got that Basher to be stunning up some heroes as well, as he just spent some gold, and he's got 1100 gold left. What is it going to be? We're going to have 2 point boosters getting picked up. Neither are for Smash. And 2 ultimate orbs. Both are actually for Van, as he looks like he's going to be picking up another Scotty. The Demon Edge was for Smash. So we're going to have a second Scotty getting picked up by Van for the additional stats. MKB is going to get picked up by Ewo, as he's got an Aghanim Scepter as well. And we'll take a quick look on his bear. See if there's anything else that surprises us. Nope. So it's a second Scotty for Van. He'll actually keep the gem in his stash. MGod still just with the Force Staff, but a point booster as well. Masoku hasn't really made too much progress at all this game. He just has Tranquils, Bracer, and just the Energy Booster and Ring of Health. So he's yet to really complete an item. Smash, of course, we saw pick up that Demon Edge, but look at this. Complexity have run right into the Elite Wolves, and they've started off with a kill on Masoku and followed it up with another one onto Ewo. And that's no buyback available on this Lone Druid. And now they may have even found MGod as well. He'll Force Staff himself, try to TP away, but there's still stuns available, as Limp's going to stun him up with the LSA. And Complexity get 3 kills there. All 3 of those heroes on Elite Wolves do not have buyback. So now Complexity is going to charge down the mid lane. In fact, the only hero in the game with buyback is going to be the Abaddon. Smash, the only one keeping gold to buy back in this game. Looks like Complexity will be able to bring down this mid melee Rax, although they will be doing it against backdoor protection. But their creep wave is coming. It's getting there. But they will have the damage to bring it down anyways. Will they go up towards the top lane or the bottom? Looks like it's going to be bottom lane is going to be their choice. They're going to send the Trance up towards the top. But both top tier 1 or tier 3 and bottom tier 3 towers are pretty much around the same HP. Not anymore though, because Complexity brings down the bottom one. They won't be able to stick around long enough to go for the Rax. Is Chessie going to start to TP out, but Van's going to engage. As Chessie actually will sheep him up and then TP away. Z-Freak will also do the same. Frankly, I think Elite Wolves kind of dodged a bullet there. I think that could have very easily had ended up in complexity, punishing them much worse. But they will just get that one Rax in the mid and get the tier 3 in the bottom. But it does leave Elite Wolves base pretty exposed. Of course, the bottom racks are completely exposed with the mid racks completely gone as well. The top is also pretty vulnerable with this tier 3 tower on very low HP. And oh no, Smash. He's going to run right into complexity. But he's pretty damn tanky. He'll be able to get away, and looks like complexity going to try to engage from behind. As Swindle's going to blink in, give Masoku the clap. Chessie going to sprout him. But the Force Staff is there from M-God as they're going to try to focus down the bear, and they will be able to get it, but Evo's got another resummon.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
But he'll have to be careful with his next bear.
Dire's structures are fortified.
As Elite Wolves are going to try to go and even the game in terms of racks, as they're going to try to bring down this mid melee racks, as Z-Freak and Limp are engaging here. We're going to have an overgrowth, or whatever it's called. It is overgrowth from Hanskin coming out. As Black Hole is going to come out as well, as we've got, oh my goodness, Limp with the burst damage will bring down Masoku, but they try to go for Van and they won't be able to find it. He'll be able to pounce away. A Smash is going to be their next target. Borrowed time on cooldown. He will go down. As the other heroes will TP away, as Ewo and M-God will get back, and look at that. They need more burst damage. And Chessie says, I got it, as he picks up a Dagon 5. So, that's some pretty burst damagey items that you can pick up right there. Dagon 5 instantly, as he'll buy that on the Nature's Prophet. But will complexity once again be able to push into the Elite Wolves base? We are going to have the Vengeful Spirit back up in another 10 seconds, but it's a full minute before we have Smash in the Abaddon. But he does have buyback available, and now Z-Freak's going to get engaged on by Van, but now maybe this has put Van in a little bit of a vulnerable situation. He does have buyback though, but he'll drop into the Shadow Dance, as M-God is our first hero to go down. It might be Limp to follow soon after. He's BKB'd and Invis. He will be okay, I think. Overgrowth actually going to catch Van while he's Invis there, as he's going to jump up onto the high ground, trying to go after Limp, but maybe who's chasing who, we're not sure, as Limp tries to turn around, but we won't actually have engage between either of those heroes. But in the end, we actually don't have an engage at all, or any kind of structure damage being dealt by complexity there, as Elite Wolves once again stay in this game. And I really think there was an opportunity there for complexity to take that fight, because there was not a bear summon. We just saw him summon it right there. That is when it came off cooldown. So I don't think complexity actually had kept tabs on when that Spirit Bearer got resummoned in the last fight. It's a very important timing for them to keep track of. And it looks like they might have missed out on it, or maybe they just didn't think that the opportunity was as good as I think it was. But Elite Wolves, they will stay in this game, and we haven't taken a look at it yet, or in a while. But look at this, it almost came right back to zero. We do see it trending more again towards complexity. It's about 10,000 gold in favor of them. XP, oh my goodness, it's all over the place. A roller coaster ride there. But oh boy, we've got our fourth Roshan, and Elite Wolves are in the pit, but here comes complexity. Swinnermelon's going to jump in. They're going to try to focus down M-God first, and they will just delete him from the game. Roche goes down. Aegis and Cheese are on the deck, and no one's picking them up. Instead, Z-Freak will bring down Van. Smash, he's in trouble there, as Z-Freak's actually going to be the one to pick up the Aegis, as he technically snatches it from the Elite Wolves. To Smash, well, it looks like he's going to go down. Borrow time on cooldown. He's used everything, and complexity will get 4 kills in that last team fight and get the Aegis as well, and they're going to find a 5th as Ewo goes down as well, as he was not able to get away and get back to his base. As Ewo will buy back immediately, but he is the only one on Elite Wolves with buyback available to him, and I don't know if he has bought bear resummon. He does. He'll have another one up in 20 seconds. But I just do not see a Lone Druid being able to hold here, so it looks like game 1 is going to go to complexity, as they bring down one of the tier 4s, and soon the second tier 4 is about to fall as soon as the fortify wears off, and Swindle's going to jump after that bear. They start beating up on the little panda.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Now they're just going to go after the throne. So it looks like game 1 of this best of 5 series is going to go to compLexity as they take it in 51 minutes with a score of 43-25. You know, a pretty thrilling game to start off this series. I'm really excited to see the games going forward from here, because that was pretty close for a long time. For about 15 minutes, it was almost dead even. Then it trended a little bit more towards compLexity, but somehow, some way, Elite Wolves found a way to crawl themselves back into this game. But in the end, it turned out to not be enough, as compLexity were able to finish it out and win that game. And oh boy, we have at the very least 2 more of these games. Hopefully we go the full distance and go for the full 5 games. But that is it for game 1. We will have game 2 coming up in just a few minutes. Once again, guys, I was Niz. Thank you so much for joining me for the games tonight. As like I said, we've got game 2 coming up in just a bit. So don't go anywhere. It's just a short break, and we will be ready for that next game.